Well, I don't think there's any problem from a European Union perspective in terms of making time available for negotiations. We all want to try and resolve these issues. We want to find a way of getting a deal that the UK are happy with and that the EU is happy with and can accept too. And there's no country that wants a deal more than Ireland, I can tell you. We want good relations with the UK in the future. We share a lot of responsibility in the island of Ireland, north and south, that Brexit is very disruptive towards. So we want to get a deal that manages a sensible Brexit, that moves us into a transition period, that gives us the time and space to work out a future relationship. But that deal has to be based on the withdrawal agreement, and it has to be consistent with that. And if the UK wants to remove an element of the withdrawal agreement, they have to acknowledge that that causes problems, and they have to propose alternatives that can solve those problems. Certainly in the case of the backstop, and we have always said, if there are alternatives to the backstop that do the same job, well then let's hear them, and if we can work out a deal on that basis, so be it. But what we will not do in Ireland, and I believe there's strong solidarity across the EU on this, we will not allow a really important element of the withdrawal agreement to be removed, i.e. the backstop, which solves a difficult problem, albeit on a temporary basis, and for that to be replaced with something that doesn't stand up for to scrutiny and is simply a promise that we'll do our best to solve the problem but not explain how. That is not an approach, I think, that either Ireland or the EU will support.
Have you heard any even outline of an idea that could replace it? The UK Prime Minister says he wants 2 days negotiations a week. What's it going to be about?
Well, look, I mean, I'm sure that if he wanted 5 days of negotiations per week, the EU would be okay with that. I mean, Michel Barnier is there as the chief negotiator for the EU for that purpose. He has a team that's ready to go. We all want to get a deal, but at the moment, nothing credible has come from the British government in the context of an alternative to the backstop. And, you know, if that changes, great. We'll look at it in Dublin, but more importantly, it can be the basis of a discussion in Brussels. But it's got to be credible. It can't simply be this notion that, look, we must have the backstop removed and we'll solve this problem in the future negotiation without any credible way of doing that. That's not going to fly, and I think it's important that we're all honest about that.
Just one more